First of all, for people who may or may not have gotten all those references, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your past life as a founder, and your current role?
Okay. Well, actually, most of my life I was a founder. This is basically the first job I've had since I was a younger man. I built a company in a social networking company in 2011. Built a retail business, physical retail business. I built and then I built another retail business with Solana Spaces. My introduction to Solana, and then I built an NFT platform, collectibles platform on Solana, and that was acquired by Jupiter last year. I always preface that don't take anything I say too seriously, because all the best companies break all the rules. So I can't, and if you're a first-time founder, you're especially susceptible to bad advice. Why you should possibly listen to me, if you definitely shouldn't. But if you were going to listen to me, it's because I've built 4 venture-backed companies, raised $150 million capital myself as a CEO, founder. I built teams to hundreds of people, and build real revenue businesses as well. And I've gone from start to finish in ways that most founders will never be able to do. So that would be why you trust me, but otherwise, you gotta learn lessons the hard way.
For sure. On that note, so what was your journey exactly as a founder? What are some mistakes you personally made?
Okay, I mean, I tried to write down a list this morning. And I think also that AI is changing some of this, so keep that in mind. I think we're going to have to learn some of the same lessons that we've already learned in the past because of AI, and some of these are still probably the same. I really liked Mert's, I think it was Mert's tweet on this the other day, which is like, AI founders are going to learn that's product is the easy part all over again. So if you've heard me talk before, I basically have the same ideas every time. So nothing super new, but I would say like the handful of things that I see every first-time founder basically doing. I'm going to start with Josip's company, because I think this guy, he's here, right? I think I saw him in the chat.
He's checking in from a kid's birthday. Very characteristic of Josip.
So yeah, the first thing that came to mind is I think founders wait way too long to ship, and they overbuild. I would say like a lot of the thing I see first-time founders do is in the category of pre-optimization, doing too many things that weren't necessary but felt good. In the past, you would see a lot of founders building a lot of stuff before they went to market. Now it's even more of a problem because of AI. You can really just prompt anything, and there's always one more thing you can add. And so there's this like feeling that you should just solve all the possible problems that you can imagine in your head. But in my opinion, the real journey is about depth and not breadth. First of all, it's about going deep on things that your competitors or the big companies would never imagine doing, and keeping a very narrow window of what problem you're trying to solve. Because you're not answering the question about what could you build. You need to have something that's, the canonical advice is something that's 10x better, 100x better than what else is out there. The word magic comes to mind for me a lot. There's this, Penn and Teller, these very famous magicians. Teller has this great quote, which is, someone asked him, like, what is magic? And he said, magic is just putting way more work into something than someone would ever expect. you to do, right? You see a simple magic trick, on stage, right? Some illusion, but you don't realize there's 3 months of preparation for you to see that 2 seconds of, thing that kind of blows your mind. I think really, Flash Knob is here. What the hell? Interesting. This is an open session, isn't it?
So we just let out invites for super team members. If someone got
Nice.
in, yeah.
What's up, Flash Knob? He's a goated drip art collector who likes all my tweets the second I post them. Thank you so much for doing that. You all should do that, by the way. All right. So yeah, so like I think great products are kind of like that, where it's like you start with something that feels like, I don't know, like take an example, like ripping up like a Pokemon card pack, right, or whatever it is, like online, a digital one, and just spending months just perfecting the feel of the animations and the experience of those things coming out of the pack, and just hyper optimizing in ways that no one could imagine. And I think it's more important in I love you, man. Enjoy the birthday. I mean, he has so many kids that he's probably celebrating one of his kids' birthday every single day of the year.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, it's like it's important in contrast, because you could say, well, we're building a Pokemon card, we're building a card opening experience, and we're gonna have and I'm thinking about cards because I just got a PSA pack, so I've got like some slabs next to me. But you could say we're building a pack opening platform, and anyone could, design their own experiences, and anyone can launch their own things or whatever. But I just really think like take a single thing and then just go as deep as possible all the way into the user experience. This is the heart of really good products, and then you can expand later. Another example of this is like a friend was starting a electric scooter company, and he had all these ideas. And in fact, he was a battery engineer, and he had all these ideas for vehicles. And he wanted to build. He's like, we're gonna build a battery company. And he's like, we can build a bike, we could build a scooter, we can build a all these other like last mile vehicles, electric skateboard. And I just remember thinking like, okay, like you can always get to that point, but like, can we just build one product that, I know you could do these other things, but let's just do this one thing that lets you kind of understand your market better, your audience, build up a reputation. You can always kind of go bigger as you succeed. This guy ended up building a like $1 billion electric scooter company, and they eventually did build bikes and other things. But I think focus, starting narrow and expanding later, really important. Okay, other things. The one that I often talk about and no one ever understands when I say this. You don't understand it until it's too late. But distribution is more important than product, and that's becoming more and more true every single day. Anyone can build anything. I mean, I get you. Anything that you could build for Colosseum, I could build too in my terminal. Okay, we all have the same tools. And this is an abstract idea, but building itself is an act of your ego in a way. Like, I think people really want to satisfy their ego, and this is why they end up just shipping and shipping and shipping new features, new products, new launches, just over and over and over again, regardless of whether there's any customers there. It's very gratifying to see. It's like playing a game, especially now with AI. It's like playing this game, and you just get this like achievement unlocked, right? So it kind of like trains it's like going back to your high school or like your education, where you got rewarded for turning in the paper that you finished or whatever your math assignment, whatever. And so I think I think humans have this like this kind of like reward system that's based on doing something that's physical or something that exists that other people can see. And so founders end up kind of optimizing for recreating that experience. The hard part is getting a single person, 10 people, 100 people, to fall in love with your product and use it to solve some of their own problems, right? And like, if you ask me, especially now, where should I spend my time? You should probably spend like 80 to 90% of your time on identifying those users, bringing them in, making sure they love what you build and use it every day. There was a phase so much development, new products happen, kind of like .com bubble. I mean, we're definitely living in that. The ones that win will build breakthrough distribution before any of the product exists. And this is also why I like keeping your product narrow, because basically, when you overbuild, you end up you just kind of expand the problem set for distribution. It makes it harder for you to find people to use your product, the wider your product is, right? I think first-time founders especially, and you've heard this phrase, right? First-time founders build products, second-time founders build distribution. I think that first-time founders especially make this mistake because let me slim. You guys, these chats are great. Sorry, I'm gonna pivot here. So talking about distribution, product. Okay, yeah. So like, there's lots of examples like this out there. And one of the ways that you will feel this frustration sometimes as a builder, as a founder, is like, oh, well, we built so much more than these guys. They went out and raised all this venture capital, and I can't do that, right? And you hear people like, looking out like, oh, like what's that? Cluely, what a shit product. They raised $20 million. Why they have all this, whatever, right? We could do so much more than that. Our product is better. But like, these guys are thinking about a different problem that you're thinking about. They're thinking just how can I get in front of somebody every single day? What was Pump Fund's distribution story? It's a good question. I think there's the things that you see and the things you don't see. I think both Axiom and Pump Fund were exceptionally good at recruiting their exact target market. In Pump Fund's case, token launchers, and in Axiom's case, a certain type of trader, like a trader that has like a friends and an FNF type group. And these guys relentlessly talk to them, keep them happy, give them money, take care of things for them, refund them. This is the work that you don't really see. That's pretty much without question, every top company in the world of any industry has like that core group, those 10% of their users that are like generating an excess amount of their business, and just go to the ends of the earth to take care of them. On Binance, that's VIP 10. You might know about that tier. Even Solana Foundation has a version of that you may not know about.
Let me cut in. You've said so much cool stuff that I kind of want to reference and direct you a little bit. Love the thing about Penn and Teller and creating magic for your users, and all of this stuff is kind of, we're managing over 100 teams right now for Superteam Balkans, and these really are like the most common mistakes with like, not to say it in a rough way, but like people who are maybe a bit autistic devs kind of types of people, really hyper. Yeah. I want to ask you like specifically, because you've touched on this a couple of times already now through the conversation. How is AI changing the scene for first time and like repeating founders? What is now concretely different for the people in this call? Very, very important, I believe.
What's different? Sorry, in what way?
Code is no longer a moat. These kinds of things. How should they think differently about their companies and products?
I think the mistakes are just easier to make now. I think like, because you just sit down, you're like, you think of your job as sitting down at your terminal and getting your agents to work. And so, yeah, I just feel like this is like the amount of product spam or slop that's happening right now is at an unbelievable level. It's just so much harder to be narrow and great versus like building depth. Like these things will just overbuild for you, and they'll just build and build and build. The old adage was like do things that don't scale. And this is becoming really hard for founders to follow because you're a prompt away from something that's scalable. I used to like, a year ago, I would give the advice of like, don't build anything until your hands are bleeding. As you really like, as a CEO founder, especially, is very tempting. An example is like onboarding new clients. Let's say you have like, it's not an open platform and every single person should, is a meaningful customer or whatever. There's a temptation to build an automated sign-up flow and make it all hands off and easy for someone to get into the product and do all these things by themselves. The reason I don't like that, I like founders to do the personal onboarding and just do it way longer than they should for like their first couple hundred users or whatever, is it forces you to understand your customer really, really well. And I think AI just makes it tempting to do something different than that, and this is a crazy thing that at Drip, we onboarded hundreds of creators, and we did by hand in our just in a database, just putting the entries in there. We were processing, I don't know, hundreds of drops per day on the platform, through we had a person doing that, just taking a form input from Typeform, and then entering their details in like a JSON, like a JavaScript object, and then pushing that into our system. And it was brutal. I did that too myself. I was doing that for about the first year. Damn. But it really helped us understand what creators wanted, where the system was broken. And when we did finally automate it, we knew exactly what would make our lives better and easier, and therefore theirs. But yeah, there's I used to remember talking to non-technical founders, and now that's not even a thing because anyone can be technical, and just say can you just run is there a way for you to run this business that you're building with just Google Forms? Because if you could, almost everything can be. I mean, it's not easy, but there's a magic to feeling it that way and then scaling yourself out of these things progressively as a founder. I think this rule in general is, if you're building a team, I don't know if your founders are too early for that, but founder CEO should know how to do all the jobs, or at least experience each of those before they hire somebody, because it's really hard to know who to hire, and what skill set to look for if you yourself can't do some bit of it.
100%. All right, let's get a bit out of the theoretical and out of the past. I want to ask you, current state of Solana in general, crypto in general, is AI eating us alive? Are there any areas you're particularly bullish right now for founders who are, now is their time, now is the time they're gonna be going to market? Any advice there on that side or opinions?
Going to market in Solana right now?
General state of crypto, which verticals you're maybe bullish on, which ones you're bearish on, what do you think we're lacking on Solana, what would be a great Colosseum project in your eyes?
Yeah, I mean, everyone kind of knows the major themes. I would say my list is definitely AI and agent enablement. I think there's still tons and tons to do there. I'd say too, trading and tokenization. We've been focused on putting assets to work. I think is still I still think there's a big opportunity there. We are successfully bringing assets on chain, but can you lend? Are there borrow lend markets against them? Are there other ways to use these assets other than just swapping them on Jupiter?
Privacy is a big one. Definitely, we hear that a lot, especially at the enterprise level. A lot of folks are looking for that in their lives right now, on chain. And then stablecoin economy is just booming. Like the one chart that's been up and to the right for 5 years straight is stablecoin and TVL, just a rocket ship. So anything in and around stablecoins, I still think is pretty underexplored, including like non-USD stablecoins. Yeah.
Amazing. Would definitely agree with that. So no dark horses, no hot takes you have potentially.
Hot takes. I mean, clearly the on-chain is looking for a new game. I think meme coins are, just similar to where NFTs were maybe 2 or 3 years ago. They're clearly not dying. I think, like, I'm surprised by the how resilient meme coins seem to be. At the same time, like on-chain traders are looking for something new to play. So, but I don't think you can really predict that. I think you have to catch lightning in a bottle at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Don't want to call it gambling specifically, maybe, but that's always had PMF, and I think that's not going away anytime soon. Wanted to also ask you, do you angel invest in startups? Have you invested in any? Have they lived up to your expectations? How do you feel about angel investing in general and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I've invested in a lot of companies, but since I joined Foundation, I stopped investing in Solana companies because of our conflict of interest policy. You don't want me to invest or anyone from Foundation to invest in your startup because it makes it hard for us to help you out in other ways.
Teams in shambles, honestly. All right. Does anybody have any questions for Vibhu while we have him for a short period of time still? All right, not much. I want to also ask you. Oh, Juraj, go ahead, man.
Yeah, hi. Just got a quick one. Since we already talked about the AI and crypto and everything, do you think that education, learning, courses, everything that was important to especially developers later, do you think that is something that will still be important in the AI era, or is that going to shift as well?
I think realistically, and this is like a general comment, but I think everything is basically all user interfaces are collapsing into the LLM. I think like if you look at the 800 million or billion ChatGPT users and how they're using ChatGPT, they're using it as a replacement for many other apps on their phone. Which is why it's such a valuable company. I think a serious problem for crypto is going to be the fact that people are going to trust their LLM to do things for them more than they trust themselves, including like financial tasks. And therefore, but it's not going to be your interface where they're typing in prompts. It's going to be just Claude or OpenAI. So how do you intercept that user at that point and get them to ask the right things? That is a very big unsolved question. You asked about education. I think the same thing. People are just going to go to their LLM to learn about things. They're already doing this. Like I'm standing alone in the grocery store and you hear a couple in front of you asking ChatGPT about all kinds of things that you probably wouldn't, right? About coupons or discounts or whatever. Like, so yeah, I kind of, I would say I'm like fairly bearish on this. The place that's probably not true is on the enterprise. Enterprises are like lagging way behind on AI adoption. So there's probably like quite a lot of money to be made in the transition between, the old SaaS model and what's happening at the startup side. But I don't know if that's a crypto thing specifically. Crypto users are like young and very educated and very technology forward. They're probably using AI for everything already.
Cool. We have the guys who are putting dinosaur bones on chain asking, what's your favorite dinosaur?
Well, I always, I think they changed the name of this dinosaur. What is the new name for a brontosaurus? Is it, Apatosaurus. Always had a soft spot because they're vegetarian, and I'm vegetarian, so very large. Oh my god, there's a lot of dinosaurs. Oh, the same guy. Oh hey,
They're really
is that out of the Balkans? The dinosaur.
yes, they're kind of a great example of like of a lot of stuff you're talking about. They're probably going to clip you. You're going to be on Twitter tomorrow in an AI dinosaur montage or something. I got to admit it. They did it to Maddie from Colosseum last time.
They're actually buying some fossils. I know fossils have been pumping the last couple of years, right?
They figured that out. They have a contact at Sotheby's, and they're gonna maybe win Colosseum. We'll see. They've really been doing very well.
Griffin.
Yeah. So one more thing that I really wanted to ask you is how has can you tell us a bit more about your current role and position in Foundation, and how has being a founder informed your current position?
So I lead marketing and product right now. Marketing on an interim basis. How does it inform my? I mean, I am a founder. That's how I think of myself. I just kind of like managed to scam the Solana Foundation into bringing me on board to do things there. We'll see how long that lasts. Yeah, no, I really have a soft spot for founders. I think being a founder is the highest archetype a human can be. Taking responsibility for your own life and how you spend your time. So I don't get that aspect, which is the downside of being here, but Foundation's given me a lot of leeway to do what I think is best for Solana, and I've kind of brought like founder mode to the entire chain as a part of my life. But yeah, usually if you're a really early stage, it's hard for the Foundation to help that much. Once you have some traction, like we like to say, like it's hard for us to start a fire, but we can definitely pour fuel if something's working and try to get you the right help.
Very, very cool. I hope you guys are listening. What would you say are the best ways to distribute consumer apps on Solana right now? Are you going to say Seeker?
Like a new wallet product? I mean, I think the fact that you're saying on like distributing on Solana is probably the key mistake. Like if you're trying to sell a wallet to a bunch of people who already have wallets, this better be 100x better, and it's probably not realistically, or 10x better. I mean, even Jupiter, even like well-funded teams with good products struggle to get adoption against Current. What is interesting though is I have found like I've just stumbled upon like hyper normie focused trading products that I didn't even know existed that support Solana. And have hundreds of thousands or millions of users.
Wow.
And they're just anchored completely differently from a marketing standpoint. I think this is Cash's phrase that he uttered to me this morning, but I think it's important for crypto companies to play the, like the idea of like home and away games in sports. It's important for crypto companies to play the away games and bring their product somewhere else. Because here is the pie is small, and there's a lot of people trying to eat it, and it's easier to go try to find your own.
Very good advice. All right, one more, and then we'll wrap it up slowly. What are your thoughts on the current state of consumer DeFi? What is the best approach to build for non-crypto natives and make blockchain or Solana invisible to the end user?
Maybe for Simon, it's not pies. It's what do you guys have? Those maple. What are those things called? Those little maple things. Anyway, current state of consumer DeFi. I think there's a lot of. I think there's a ton of opportunity here. I still think that basically. No, those maple tarts are like super like spongy. Like you get them at like the grocery store in Canada somewhere. Okay, forget it.
Come on, Simon.
They're like this big. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, there's tons of opportunity for consumer DeFi, especially outside of crypto. Like, I mean, here now, there's a lot of fear because of all the security issues and stuff, which is
Yep.
very, very. But stablecoin yield is still like fairly superior to what users are used to getting out of their banks. I had a friend contact me out of the blue from Web2, who's like an ex-founder, and he had seen a tweet of mine that was about like 6 or 7% yield. And he's like, how do I get this? And I introduced him to Ramsey, who's leads DeFi for the Solana Foundation, and Seraphim. And this is his first introduction to crypto. And he's like, look, I have like XX, dollars. And like, you said that you can earn 7%. How do I actually do that? And it's actually really complicated. Like there isn't like, it's like, okay, cool. Like first we have to get you into exchange. You have an exchange account. Okay, cool. You got to go buy USDC or whatever, and you got to figure out how to bridge it over here, and you got to interact with the contract, sign all these messages, and like, okay, cool, now you get 7%. But by the way, we need to have a conversation about security, and we need to have a conversation about risk and all these other things. So, so I still think there's like breakthrough neo-banking experiences that make all that simple. The big challenge for this is just ramping. Ramping is just the products are bad. It's expensive to get your own licensing there. But yeah, I think there will probably be like many billion-dollar banks built on stablecoins that have like non-crypto value prop.
Very cool. We got a lot of raised hands, but I'm going to have to save you guys for the AMA. I wanted to just ask one last thing because there's an initiative coming out from our friend Chris Sol in the UK. I saw you donated 10 Sol. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, Chris used to work at Foundation on Superteam. This is the second time he's raising money. He got liquidated the first time. Got some OPSEC issues, but yeah, I don't know. He's a good guy, and if you have like a soul to give, if you don't, that's okay. But I know you would appreciate it. His Raf also used to work on the Foundation, passed away last year, and tragically, and his family is needing financial assistance. But
for sure. Just wanted to mention that. I know half the people on this call are DJ gamblers. You have dust in your walls. Do a good deed today and feel good, and support our own from the Solana ecosystem. All right, that's it. I'm not going to keep you any longer. Thank you, Vibhu, as always, for coming for the second year in a row and spilling knowledge all the way. Pleasure to have you, and hopefully you'll come aboard again next year.
Yeah, man. Good to see you. Thank you.
Absolute pleasure. Ciao.